Very cool, man. I'm glad to talk to you. I've been a fan of yours for years.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely, man. You freaking rock. Um, so now you've been really busy lately. Got the new CD out, Resurrection.
Yeah,
Now, where was that taped and when and all
that
that?
was recorded about 4 months ago here at the Improv in Irvine.
Oh, very cool, man.
Yeah, it's a really nice room, and I'm working on a pilot right now that Howard Stern's the executive producer of.
That's awesome. And it's also for the WB.
Yeah.
Cool. And now explain that whole thing to me. That whole premise for the sitcom.
It's the premise for the sitcom is I fall in love with my daughter's best friend.
There you go.
They're actually going to have me finding out from the doctor that I'm in remission from cancer in the pilot, which I think is pretty ambitious for the WB. I mean, no one's ever tackled that kind of topic in a half-hour sitcom.
And for the main character,
I get to play myself, so it's really exciting for me because it's not some bullshit thing where I have to be a car salesman or a plumber or something. And I play Robert Schimmel, and I think pilot has the doctor telling me I'm going to be just coming out for my tests or whatever. I got to wind up telling my daughter that I'm in love and shock the shit out of her when she finds out that it's her best friend, and the three of us live together. Yeah.
There you go. There's one for the new era.
Yeah.
Of sitcoms. That's awesome, man. And like I said, this is definitely mirrors your real life.
Yep.
Now, it's been 3 years since your remission from cancer. It's all out now.
Oh yeah. That's why I couldn't do it any other way, because if I did anything else, everybody that knows me from Stern or from Conan or anywhere else, they'd all go, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
Right.
We already heard. We know what he's doing.
Right.
I'd rather do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So now,
I've never been to this place. I'm very excited. I mean, I don't know what the room is like.
Here at the downtown in Long Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool, man. It's got a whole rock and roll vibe to it. And it's a pretty nice sized club,
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I mean, I've done whatchamacallit a bunch of times before,
Westbury?
Place in Long Island.
Westbury or Governors?
Governors, yeah.
Yeah. It's bigger than Governors. It's gonna be cool, man, to have you come down. And Long Island's always been really supportive of you, man. How do you feel when you come home to New York area?
Yeah, no, I love it. Are you kidding? I spent the first 27 years of my life in New York, and then I came out. The thing I like about New York is you could tell who the dangerous people are when you're walking down the street.
Right.
You can walk down the street at like 2 a.m. and and you see some guys coming your way, and you look at them and they go, "You know what? Time to cross the street." In L.A., everybody looks like a fucking model here. I mean, there's psychos that look like Farrah Fawcett. So I mean, you have no idea what's going on. Some guy can come over that looks like he's, just came out of like a Guess Jean ad and fucking jacks your car. So, I mean, it's just fucked up.
Oh, man, that's
great. And they don't know how to make pizza here.
Yeah.
They don't fall for that bullshit. There's some place that says we fly in, the water from Brooklyn every day. Great. Then you got too much time on your hands. It's not just the water. It's the people making it and the whole deal.
Yeah, exactly.
It was that easy just to fly water in.
There'll be New York pizza everywhere.
They don't have good pizza here, and they don't have duck sauce at Chinese restaurants here. They don't know what that is.
Really?
Yeah. Instead, you get this they give you a plate that has like a yin-yang sign made out of like mustard and ketchup, and that's what they call duck sauce.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. So I really, it's amazing. I mean, every time I go to New York to perform, I have to come back and like fucking do like a colon cleanse, because I eat so much stuff. They don't have Wise potato chips here. They don't have tasty cakes here. I mean, all those things.
Wow, man.
It's like, and it's.
Well, no wonder they all look like models.
What?
No wonder they all look like models. They're staying away from all the
good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's nothing like New York pizza. I remember last time I was in the city, I ate steak at Sparks, which is the place where that guy got shot out front, that Gotti had killed.
Oh, right.
And I went in there, and that place was really, I thought I was on the set of The Sopranos. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
And, it was really bizarre, man. And then I see these guys. I go to the bathroom, and I see another dining room, and there's these guys in there eating, and they were eating stuff that wasn't on the menu. And that's why I figured that they were like the real deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that wasn't on my menu. Go back to your seats. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Howard Stern. You're of course a regular on the show, one of his favorite guests. You're definitely, I love when you're on the show because you're very open and honest. Now, with all this crap with the FCC and all this bullshit, what's your take on it? Where do you see the future of Stern, radio in general, and America?
Well, I think they go after Howard because Howard is the best at what he does.
Right on.
And everybody else is a fucking clone.
Yep.
It is. Even on my CD, it's dedicated to Howard.
Oh, cool.
Because Howard is the one that knocked the doors down for everybody else to do what they're doing. Everybody copies him.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thinks they're as big as him or as good as him. But when it comes down to it, the FCC isn't coming down on everybody else. They are on him.
Right, exactly.
So that shows you right there who he is. And, I think that it's, who listens to Howard Stern and says, oh my God, I can't believe he said that.
I know, right?
So I don't get that. I mean, that's like watching a porno movie and going, hey, that guy's dick was showing. I'm offended by this.
Right.
No, seriously. So I don't get it. And, if this is all because of Janet Jackson's tit and it's an election year and, they're gonna decide what's decent and moral for us to see and hear, and we don't get to make our mind up on our own. I think that's really wrong. It really is.
It is, man.
And I don't want to see Howard go off the air, but I also don't want to see Howard getting reprimanded and having, being spanked in front of his students.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't want that either. And when they start bleeping every other word he says, I think that it'd be a time for him to just say, hey, you know what? Fuck you, and just walk. Because they can just ruin you. And the thing that really bothers me the most is that, what he got in trouble for, he didn't even do. Somebody else called in and said something.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And it's not even really Howard. And I have other children besides my 25-year-old, and I could be watching TV, network television.
Right.
Watching a show that's totally appropriate for my children to watch. Right?
Right.
And here comes a commercial for Fear Factor where somebody's like licking a cow's asshole or eating worms and fucking graveyard dirt, shit like that, and puking on television.
Yeah, exactly right.
And that is acceptable. You could be eating dinner and watch somebody vomit on television, but Howard Stern is a bad influence.
Exactly.
And so to me, it's like, wait a minute. And then I think, you know what this is? This is all, they're coming down, they got to pick on somebody, so they're picking on him. Some of it has to do with money, because, when you look at television really is they get their money from sponsors.
Right.
And if they're making money, if a show's popular and they make money, then the show stays on. If the show sucks, then sponsors pull out, or if they find it offensive or whatever. Do you remember when Dana Carvey had his own show and then it got canceled because he had that thing where he was President Bush, like breastfeeding?
Oh, right.
Remember?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola and Taco Bell said that they weren't going to sponsor the show anymore, and it got canceled.
Yeah, he went right off. Yeah.
Well, Fear Factor has bigger sponsors than Stern does. Stern doesn't have Coca-Cola and Tasty Cakes and Wise and shit like that.
Right. And do you think that ultimately he'll make the move to satellite radio?
I hope not. I'll tell you why. It won't be the same thing if he goes to satellite.
Because of the range of satellite.
Part of the thing with him now is that Howard is, when it comes to dancing on the line of what you can get away with and what you can't, or on the air.
Right.
He's fucking Fred Astaire, man.
Yeah, right on.
There is nobody like him, I mean, every day he makes you feel like he got away with something that you can't get away with.
Right.
Whether he really can or whether he can't.
Right.
And, to me, this is how full of shit I think he really is, okay? Picking on Howard Stern, and out of everybody, it's coming down on him, right?
Right.
Was like busting Tommy Chong.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Tommy Chong is in jail because on the internet, right, he has a company, and the internet sells smoking utensils or whatever, or paraphernalia or whatever, accoutrements or whatever you want to fucking call it.
Right.
Some kid, bought a bong on, a Chong bong or whatever it is, and he was underage.
Right.
And so they came down on Tommy, and Tommy's in jail.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Not the people that are bringing in tons of fucking drugs into the country. They're not in jail. Tommy Chong is in jail.
Right, exactly.
Tommy, they really fucking fixed the drug problem now.
I know, right?
You can sleep better at night because Tommy Chong is in a jail cell.
Right, exactly.
This guy probably can't. He's so stoned he can't find his zipper. This is the guy that they had to arrest because they just wanted to set an example. You know why? Because Tommy Chong has all those jokes in all the Cheech and Chong movies and all the albums, right?
Right.
Cops that always look like fucking assholes, and they're stupid.
Right.
They get pulled over and they go, "Hey, there's smoke coming out of the back of your car. Hey, man, maybe the muffler, They figure, hey, you know what? He's going to make fun of us. We'll fucking throw him in jail."
Right.
That's what they're doing to Stern. They're picking on Stern because Stern, I'm telling you, I get to do radio everywhere, all right?
Right.
I never get thrown off the radio. I never get in trouble. I do radio now for gigs ever since this happened.
Right.
And this is what I hear. Do not do anything that you think is against FCC regulations on the air. Do not mention anything about the FCC or what Clear Channel's doing on the air.
Wow.
It just act like it's not going on. And it's like, well, if they're that proud of what they're doing and they think they're doing the right thing, then why don't they just come out and, they don't. They don't want you to know, and it's just so stupid. It really is.
Yeah, man.
And I'm telling you, it's not because I'm doing the show with them or not. I'm an entertainer, and I love to make people laugh. He loves to make people laugh. He likes to entertain people.
Right.
And they shouldn't be punishing him. If you stop him, then, and you don't let him say what he wants to say, what's going to be next?
Exactly. Like,
Then the next thing you know, I'm going to be at a club and they're going to say, hey, listen, you can't curse anymore.
Right, exactly, dude. It's going to be like the 1950s and 60s again with Lenny Bruce.
And that's where they're at. It's no good. Stern is, he is they're picking on him because he's the biggest.
Right.
That should tell everybody right there that he's the biggest, he's the best. They hold him responsible for everything that everybody else. He's getting punished because Janet Jackson showed her breast.
Right. It's freaking crazy, man.
Because of that. That's why he's being punished. Right. Hold on a second.
All right.
This number right here and the name. And you know what? I'll tell you something about that too. That I have a different take on it. All right. Janet Jackson just happens to be having a CD that was coming out.
Right.
It's just the timing is a little weird for me. You know, it's almost like the Paris Hilton thing on the computer.
Oh yeah, right.
Like 2 weeks before
that show came out.
The Simple Life.
Right.
You know? And then she's crying on this interview I saw her on, and she goes, "You don't know my side of the story." Yeah, I saw your side of the story when you were sucking the guy's dick. I didn't see any gun anywhere or you being forced to do anything, and you were waving at the camera, so don't act like you didn't even know what was happening.
Right, exactly.
I mean, who are you bullshitting? You know? And you know what? That's perfect. That shows you where we're at in today's society. Vanessa Williams posed with a woman.
Right, right.
She was Miss America and lost her crown.
Right.
Right? Paris Hilton is sucking some guy's dick on a video, and she's on the cover of fucking Mademoiselle and Elle magazine. Oh, she's on the cover of almost every magazine.
Yeah, I know, right?
Where's her punishment for behaving that way? Is she setting a good example for my 13-year-old daughter?
Exactly.
Want to be a high fashion model? Suck some guy's dick on a Sony Night Vision. No, seriously.
It's true, man. It's a twisted freaking world, man.
It's bullshit. That's why. And so you know what? Well, Justin Timberlake is a fucking pussy.
I agree.
Okay? You know what? It doesn't bother me that her tits showed. What bothers me is that they think it was entertaining to show a guy tear a girl's blouse open.
Right, exactly.
And so for him to go, hey, she was supposed to be wearing a bra under there. Well, you know, that wouldn't make me feel better if some guy pulled up my 13-year-old's shirt and said, "Sorry, Mr. Schimmel, I thought she was wearing a bra."
Exactly.
But it still doesn't make the pulling the shirt up right.
Right, exactly.
You know, and if he had any kind of balls whatsoever, he would have not gone to the Grammys, and he would have said, "Hey, if she can't go, I'm not going because I did it with her."
Exactly.
Instead, he fucking sold her down the river and said, "You know what? My whole family's offended by what happened."
Yeah, he sold her out big time.
I mean, big time.
He can't be,
you know. And here's the thing, you know, blacks have to get it together. They really do.
Yep.
They have to, you know, if they would have had solidarity during that thing, because that is definitely a racial. That was a racial thing.
Right.
Okay, Michael Jackson. That's not the race card. I have a surprise for him. If you're a 44-year-old white guy and you're blowing 8-year-old boys, you get in the same trouble.
Exactly.
You probably get in more trouble because you wouldn't be out on bail like he is. He's so high profile that he, just think, there are people that do less shit than him that are never going to see daylight again.
Yep.
He got to pay bail and go to Vegas the same day and finish another video or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, so for him to say he's getting picked on, I think he's getting preferential treatments.
It's true.
You know? So here's what I would have liked. I would have liked Outkast and 50 Cent and every other black artist to say, if Janet Jackson isn't going to the Grammys, we're not showing up.
All right, exactly. That would have.
Then you would have had the Grammys that would have been, you know, Ryan Seacrest and Clay Aiken within a 3-minute jack-off session. That would have been it. And you know what? There's no way that would have happened because the commercial time during the Grammys is really expensive.
Right.
And there's no way those sponsors are going to lose money because those acts aren't there. They would have been apologizing to Janet Jackson and said, "Why did you wait until halftime to pull your tit out? What about the first quarter?" But instead, they fucking Justin Timberlake folded right away.
Yeah, man, that was cowardly.
If he was in the mafia, he would have been dead that night.
Oh, hell yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, really, man, because he really sold her out. And plus, I'm surprised there's not more of a backlash against Timberlake, from like the black community.
Well, there is. I know he was supposed to perform or present some award at like some Motown Awards thing, and he was banned from it.
Oh, all right.
But it's not enough, and it's just bullshit. It just really is. And so the same thing happens, to Howard.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy once the government steps in and starts censoring.
They can't. And okay, I know it's the public airwaves, but it's the same thing like Tommy Chong. You bust Tommy Chong, who's really, that's what this thing is with Howard. See, it's nauseating. It really is.
Right.
The whole thing is the fucking smokescreen.
It's true, man.
It really is. Did they solve anything with the drug problem in this country by throwing Tommy Chong in jail?
Nope.
No.
Not even close.
Are they going to really, hey, you don't have to be, you can be a minor and download Paris Hilton sucking somebody's dick.
Yep.
So, Howard Stern isn't doing anything like that.
Taking Stern off the air.
That's just smokescreen. They want to look like they're doing something, and so they have to pick somebody that's high profile, and he is as high as you could get.
Yeah, he's huge. And but like you said, it's not gonna change the world.
Change anything.
It's not gonna make the world more.
But for him to finish that thing about going to XM,
right.
Yeah, he can go on XM. But the thing is, what I wanted to finish before was he can go to XM. But see, on this show now, he's a genius at what he does. He really is. He's like a kid you grew up with in school that, when the teacher turns their back and they say something, they make everybody laugh, and it's like getting someone to laugh in church. It's
right.
XM, where you're allowed to say fuck and dick and pussy and all that other stuff.
Right.
1 week of that, and it won't be the same show anymore.
Right, because part of his, like you said, his genius is walking that line and kind of going around the rules. And
it is, and listen, when he was, before this thing happened with Janet Jackson, there's nobody that's syndicated in the country like Howard Stern is. There's nobody that, here in L.A., they start playing the show, then it goes into like 15 minutes of commercials, and then they go back and start again, live. We have it live for a while, and then they replay it.
Oh, okay.
There's like 15 minutes of commercial time in between.
Wow.
He's on there, and all of a sudden it goes to commercial, because they know that Stern fans are going to sit there and listen to that stuff just to wait for him to come back on again.
Yep.
And satellite radio would be insane not to make an offer to Howard Stern. Howard has 16 million people listening to him a day?
Exactly.
I think that XM has like 1.5 million subscribers.
Right.
So if half of Stern's fans go, he's on XM, let's go get XM radios, they're going to have 8 times the listenership automatically.
Right.
They would make so much money, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah, really.
And in radio, I just don't know if it would translate like it does on TV. Some of the greatest shows that are on HBO, could never be on network television.
Right, exactly.
And network complains about HBO. When HBO started, everybody's making fun of it and said, who's going to pay to watch television?
Right.
Right?
And now look.
And now
it's bigger than broadcast.
Pay to watch TV. And now they're gigantic, and you have these network television people saying, we can't compete with HBO.
Right.
They're showing stuff there that we're not allowed to show.
Right.
Well, then change the rules. Or, You got to be entertaining within the guidelines of what the show is.
Exactly. So now, like, as a comedian, a veteran such as yourself, who always kind of takes on taboo subject matter, what is the secret of taking a tragedy such as the cancer and turning it into comedy?
Well, it's for me, I think that the best comedy comes from tragedy.
Right on.
I really do. I think that I think Woody Allen said it a long time ago that tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Right, right.
And when a certain amount of time goes by, you can make fun of just about anything, Right,
right.
And I really do believe it. I mean, some of my favorite comedians, were people that were tormented, and I mean Lenny Bruce and Sam, Bill Hicks,
right.
Richard Pryor, Carlin. I mean, a lot of people, and and here's the thing, I noticed this about myself, that I watch other comedians, and some guys watch a comic and they go, why is this person successful? Is it their writing, the timing? Is it, were they in the right place at the right time?
Right.
Is it the connection that they have? I look at somebody and that's really funny. It makes me laugh. You know what I think? What shit did this person go through in their life that they're this funny?
Right.
Because that's where that comes from.
So you think like all good comics need some kind of a fucked up background?
I think that all people, the true comedians, people that really live for it.
Right.
That they have to make people laugh. That they grew up with something where that's the only way they felt like they could be accepted.
Right.
Or they're making up for some insecurity or something they think they're lacking by making people laugh. Because it's the truth. You could be at a party. You don't have to be the best looking guy. You could be going bald. You could have a pot belly. You could have a 2-inch dick. You could be driving your mom beat up fucking Datsun B210.
Right.
You're really funny. People are on the floor laughing. Everybody loves you when they're laughing.
That's right.
It's really the truth. And to me, that's the thing that always was great is that, there's a thing sometimes when you go, some comics will go, wow, when you go out on stage, so your opening act, this girl that's really gorgeous is sitting in the front row, right? She's with her boyfriend or husband, whatever it is.
Right.
Well, you can't be with the girl. I mean, I can't, because I'm, I can't, one more alimony, and there wasn't enough hours in the work. So, but I can't, and the girl's with somebody, but what's the next best thing you could do is to make them laugh.
Right.
You go out and you make them laugh, and you have the boyfriend fucking slapping his sides, fucking crying. He's nudging the girl.
Right.
Saying, is this guy great or what? What could be better satisfaction? The next best thing to actually being with her, right, is to have her boyfriend tell her how great you are. There you go. And I think that's the way it works with comics. Comics are the ones, it's the difference between comics and rock stars, man. Rock stars, girls come to knock on your fucking green room door and they go, hey, can I suck your dick?
Right.
Girls come to comics doors and, they knock on and go, hey, listen, my boyfriend's a really big fan of yours and he wants your autograph, but he's shy. That's what happens. That or they invite you to a party where they want you to be funny the whole fucking night.
Oh, yeah.
Couples except you, and they all wind up making out or going in another room and fuck, and you're sitting out there pulling your dick by yourself. That's the life of the con.
Now, how, like you said, what Woody Allen said, tragedy plus time equals comedy. How long did it take before you started to find the humor side to your...
Right away. Right away.
Cool.
When the doctor diagnosed me and I was in his office and he said, you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I turned to him and I said, "That's just my luck. I get the one that's not named after the guy." And he said, "You're going to be okay." And he said, "Anybody that can make fun of it now."
Right.
And I used to do shows for people in the hospital. When I was getting chemotherapy, I used to crack jokes in there while I was hooked up to the fucking IV.
Wow.
That's to make people laugh in there. And I did too. And it's not, I mean, it's scary to go through that. I'm not going to say that it wasn't, but, fuck. Look, I can't go back in time and change the past, and the future, hasn't happened yet.
Right.
And so all that really matters is right now. I'm not going to forfeit now to worry about, what if my cancer comes back or the treatment didn't work? Because then I don't have this time either, and then that's just not worth it. It's
right.
not. I don't make fun of cancer. I make fun of what I went through.
Right.
I make fun of it. It's not meant to be for someone else that went through what I went through or that lost somebody to what I went through. I'm not making fun of that.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't think anyone, cancer survivors or like I said, family, would be offended by what you're saying. I think they would laugh along because, like you said, you're talking about your experience.
Right.
And with the doctors, your interaction with the doctors and stuff like that. And
yeah. So but I do tell them that when the show, I'll say, you know what, this is the humor that I found in what I was going through. It doesn't mean that you have to. But no one ever comes, I never had anybody come over to me after the show and say, "Hey, my brother died of cancer, or my mom has it, or whatever." And, that's not funny. No one's ever said that.
Right.
Because I think they can tell that I don't mean it maliciously.
Right, exactly. Now, is there anything out of bounds when it comes to comedies to you?
There's not. I believe in using. I don't believe in censorship, but I do believe in good judgment. There's certain times and places that things aren't appropriate, and it's fun to want to be a rebel. And, I know comics that say, "Hey, like if people to walk out, then that was too much for them." Yeah, you're not supposed to be too much for them.
Right.
You want people to come back and see you, not say, "I'm never going to go back and see this guy again."
Right.
And but there are certain subjects. See, I can joke about cancer because I went through it.
Right.
I couldn't do it if I didn't go through it. If it was my dad that went through it, said, my dad had cancer. They sell dick wigs when you're born, when you lose your pubic hair. I mean, they would go, "Wow, you make fun of your father?"
Right.
But it's me. It's a different story. So I really can either, I do draw the line when it comes to like rape and child molesting and stuff like that, because there isn't anything really that funny there.
Right.
And I don't even, and even if there was 2,000 people in the showroom, and 1,999 people are on the floor laughing, if one person came over to me and said, "Hey, I was raped," and I don't think that's funny.
Right.
I would forget about the 1,999 people that were laughing, and the one person would get to me.
Right.
Because I wouldn't want anybody to make me feel like that, I just wouldn't.
Right.
There's no laugh that's that great that's worth making somebody feel like that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right on.
So I don't do it. So I think everybody has to draw their own line. That's just, but I think they're supposed to trust you in drawing your own line, not imposing the line on you.
Right, because then,
which is what's happening to Howard.
Yeah, right. Once somebody draws the line, then you almost want to go over.
You're compelled to go after it.
Yeah.
Because that's human nature, man. That's the oldest story in the world. That's Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Exactly.
That's why those things aren't bullshit. People say, the Bible's bullshit. Well, it might not have happened exactly the way they said or when they said it did.
Right.
But if you think about some of these stories, they apply even in contemporary day. God said you could have whatever you want, just don't eat from the tree of knowledge. And that's the first place they go.
It's true, man.
People always want what you can't have. That's why my kind of comedy, do you know my whole career has been, don't do that kind of joke, don't do this joke, don't say that. What do you have to talk about jerking off for? What are you doing this? What are you doing that? Right? Because that's what I think is funny. And you know what? When you do what you're not supposed to do, people come to see, they do it. Why do you think Stern has so many people listening to him? You know why? Because forbidden fruit is always in season.
That's right.
Always. Stern is not a fool. He's a smart guy.
Yep.
You know, he's a smart guy, and when everybody else is either copying or finding a way to reinvent themselves to stay in the groove, he hasn't had to do any of that. He set the precedent of what it should be.
Exactly.
He raised the bar, and no one else has been able to fucking jump over that bar.
No one else ever has. I used to do college radio, and I would listen to Stern, and then I'd be like, oh, wow, you can do that? And that's when I realized, oh, my God, I'm just another one of his clones. And then I stopped.
Listen, I have another thing that I got to do for a radio thing that I got to do here for a show that I'm doing tonight in L.A.
Oh, okay. So we got the Downtown coming up on April 2nd.
Yeah.
You got the Resurrection, the new CD.
Right.
And people can get that on your website and at the show.
Right, and at the show.
And also you got the TV deal going. Is there a name for that show?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Just called the Robert Schimmel Show right now.
Very cool. And that'll be on the WB. And let me sure I got all that stuff right.
You're going to come to the show?
Yeah, I would love to be there.
Okay.
Downtown, so if you throw me on the list, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, excellent. And
absolutely. Will you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
Can you, when you write this, can you email a copy of it?
You got it.
Because sometimes I get there and it's the day of or the day when I don't know when this will come out.
Right.
And I never even get to see them.
Okay, I'll send you a copy and also send you a couple hard copies too.
Okay.
Or I'll bring them to the show.
Yeah, why don't you bring them to the show? Because, if you mention Howard in there, then I'll send one to him too.
Oh, very cool.
Okay?
All right, man.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll see you there. Your name will be on the list.
Oh, very cool.
Okay?
Thanks. All right. Bye.
I'll make sure. I'll give it to my publicist today, and you'll be on there.
Very cool. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.